Hey, thanks for tuning in and watching the Cypress Sports Show brought to you by Coach's Corner. I'm Jeff Russell with Mark Slevcove, and our special guest for the week, Sean Pfeiffer. He's here every week. He's not really a special guest, just special.
Just special.
Yeah.
That's me.
Anyways, this week is our year end. We take a look back at our sports throughout the entire year, look back at the end of the Empire League and some other topics. Take a second to talk to Sean. Sean, your first year as athletic director. How'd it go?
It went all right. Besides camera time, I think it went pretty well, right? It was fun moving from, I was in admin for a little while and then came back to the classroom and did a few things with that, and then being brought into the fold with this. It's been a good experience. I like it. Learned a lot. Keeps me excited. Keeps us busy, right?
Oh, for sure.
Feel like you're admin. You're constantly faced with problems that you never solve. You're running on a treadmill all the time, and so in athletics, you're faced with situations, obstacles often, and some problems, but they get solved, and kids benefit. So
yeah.
It's a win. It's pretty cool.
It's a good thing. Like you've had the administrative side, now to see the athletic director side, and to be able to share those successes in a different manner than what you did when you're the assistant principal, and you were the assistant principal during COVID times and things like that, which was really challenging. Now to see some of these successes that we'll talk about today, and the anniversaries and celebrations, pretty cool deal, and from a different perspective.
Good timing, good, and the translation. A lot of things translated from overseeing athletics and intramurals as an administrator into that. So I seized those opportunities when I could dive in. Right, this guy's the statistician. Right, he's just amazing with. He knows every kid on campus. He knows their record from 1997. He knows all this stuff. Yeah. Right, so. And then suddenly, when someone came by that I could do that. So that was good.
I say that all the time about Mark. He's got the master of useless information.
Hey.
He knows little tidbits about whatever. So, well, all three of us graduates of Cypress High. I think, as everybody knows, this year we really started off the year with kind of a bang, right? The 50th anniversary, and being on campus for you guys every single day. Did you see things this year that kind of brought back memories from the past as we celebrated the 50th? And what things stood out with the 50th celebration?
Well, I thought our 50th year celebration show was super fun. We had some stuff on social media, tried to get some feedback from people that are still in the community and still follow Cypress High, and just all the names and people that stood out to certain groups, and how can you leave that person off, and that person's got to be on there, and if you talk about Cypress High, this person must be included. I thought that was really neat, and then we got to share a lot of those things that people shared on social media on the show. I thought that was awesome.
That might have been our most interactive show, right? And the most feedback, other than our one fan. It might have been the most feedback, so I thought that was pretty neat.
I thought that show is a standout, right? And hearing those names that we went to school with and had seen them perform and played, and maybe even been teammates with them. But I think that Saturday celebration, that was a pretty nostalgic moment, like seeing some of these old faces, and seeing how Cypress just went all out, right? They had the whole media center set up with all those yearbooks, and everyone standing around looking for their yearbook, showing there's me kind of thing. It was kind of fun seeing that.
And the culmination, if you haven't seen it, the culmination of it all, Mr. Delgado has put together an unbelievable kind of documentary of the 50 years, and kind of even looking forward, right? The midpoint with these kids who are here now. They'll hopefully, all be around in 50 years. Hopefully we'll be around in 50 years.
We'll be stumbling in.
Right?
I got two more. So.
But it is kind of a cool midpoint for them. They hear about this, and then now they can look forward to the next 50. And when they get to the 100th year celebration, I think that's going to be really
That's some
cool.
great foresight by Mr. Delgado to think ahead about what this place will look like at a 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
And these kids got to document the 50th year.
Well, and I think one of the unintended, or maybe he's such a genius anyway, that maybe it was intended, but that he's actually now created historians. These students are the knowledge library of Cypress, so they're the connecting element from year 1, 50, and then flash forward when they're our age, or kind of your age, but
Probably.
flashing forward that they're going to be the go-to. They're going to be the go-to people to get those information, get those stories, right? And even if it's just going back and watching the documentary. So
they'll be 68 years old when they come back to this.
They're ancient. That's ancient. What was it like when you turned 68?
I mean, I was a little slower, I guess. Still younger than you.
A little younger than me. You make an appearance in the documentary a little bit. Had some words.
I'm in there, sitting right. Was there? I don't know about that. I think all the good stuff got cut.
There are words.
Nah, not wise.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mr. Delgado, he's unreal. Like, and if people don't know, he's the brains behind pretty much all the things that go on campus, I would say. He really...
Anytime there's something to celebrate, anytime there's something good going on campus,
he's got his hand in it.
Mr. Delgado's the first one people go to help out.
There's no doubt. There's not a guy that's more willing to help out and does more for the school than Mr. Delgado. He really does. And he's brought a lot of these things. And we'll be making some changes next year with the show as well.
Well, don't give anything away, but we'll see. We'll see if it happens.
It's happening. As we move through that, we had the celebration. We started looking, this is going to be, we'll talk more about it, the final year of the Empire League. And this year, 9 league championships. And I know, Coach, you've done a great job over all the years, kind of being the statistician, but also the historian for sports. I mean, you've put together a lot of stuff. Some was lost with the Google disaster, but a lot of that stuff that you have knowledge of. And 9 league championship, pretty good. I know, maybe not I don't think that's the most we've ever had, but 9 is still pretty darn good.
9 is still extremely high. Last year we had, I think, 16, which was the most in school history. But that was, I think, when we look back, that's going to be a pretty special class with the state champion and the Orange County Athlete of the Year. Like, that happens one time. So this year we didn't have that, but we still had some very solid performances, solid seasons, 9 league championships. We would take that. Every year, we would take that next year in the new league for sure. There were years when you were in school, when I was in school, it was 0 league championships or 1 or 2. It was very difficult. So we've come a long way. So we have several league championships. We did get a CIF champion in AUHSD in wrestling, so that was excited to celebrate her. And then, another one, Catherine Gerbing, didn't win a CIF championship, but for 3 straight years, that girl went out and played some great golf. And this year she made it all the way to the CIF SoCal Regional. She was 1 shot off of making it to state, so pretty impressive. Second team All-County recognition for her.
Yeah, we give a shout out to our coach as well. I mean, obviously, Susan's doing a great job coaching the both boys and girls.
That's right. Susan is passionate about golf and passionate about kids, and you can see it with her teams now. Yeah.
Well, people say football starts rolling the bus as we get into the seasons and things like that. And obviously our football team has been pretty good over the years. Coach Feldman gets it going. So football will have a little different challenge. I know you'll talk a little bit about some of the players, but football will have a little different challenge as we move forward into the Delta League as well.
That's right. The success of our football program over the last several years, and specifically the last 2 years, puts us in one of the top groups in the league, as Orange County is just taking, purely based on the power rankings of the last 2 years in football, grouping up leagues, top 4 schools, then the next 6 schools. After the Trinity League, they're out of it. The top 4 public schools, the next 6 public schools that were right there in that group with Tustin and revive a rivalry with Western, Trabuco Hills, Capo Valley, El Medina, all solid programs that we have to compete with. And we lose our quarterback next year. We're losing all-county linebacker, 3rd-team all-county Rocco Burdett, Hayden Frazier, offensive lineman. So it's definitely a challenge ahead of us, and hopefully we can step up and rise to that occasion and compete in a more competitive football league.
Yeah. Moving through, I mean, we had a lot of other successes throughout the fall season. Coach Alex always has their team playing at the top level. Tweed and cross country, water polo, kids working hard. So it's going to definitely be a transition as we move to a new league for all those kids. And one of those other transitions is going to be basketball. We saw Coach Mitchell, Coach Rivera getting their 200th wins this year. I mean, a pretty cool accomplishment,
It's
200.
awesome. Yeah, it's amazing, and to have it, at two different girls and then boys, and then of course baseball. You talk about that, with Weber getting his 40, right? It's so cool. One of the things too is that when you're talking volleyball,
Yeah.
Trace Oswald was the narrator. He was the one that strung. I think he's got a career in that.
In the
too.
50th anniversary.
In the 50th
Yeah,
anniversary
documentary.
He
Yeah,
did
he
an
did
amazing
an
job.
awesome job.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about Kay, right? She's his second year. This was her second year, and she goes all the way to state. Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing, right?
Amazing. Shout out to Coach Lundberg as well as Coach
Norris.
Norris for coaching. Coach Lundberg would like to always pass. He's not the girls' coach except when there's a champion. And he's like, oh, I kind of helped. But yeah, Coach Norris doing a great job. Those two guys been around forever. Coach Lundberg would be remiss not to mention him retiring. Hoping that he'll come back and help out a little bit and do some of the coaching. So.
Well, we're very blessed and fortunate to have such a veteran staff here at Cypress, right? The 200 wins for Rivera and Mitchell, that means they've been around a while.
Yeah.
400 wins for Weber, that means he's been around a while. Feldman's the all-time winningest football coach we've had. He's been around a while. Veteran staff, and we're very fortunate to have Coach Paul in the tennis program.
Yeah.
Right? He's been doing it now for over 15 years. Obviously, he's coached for much longer than that, but he's been our head coach in tennis long time.
As long as I can remember at this point.
Yeah, that stability is so crucial and important to a high school campus and to the athletic program. It's wonderful to see, and then you start stockpiling numbers.
And what I dig seeing out there too is their relationship with their assistants, right? They're younger typically, right? And out there with baseball, we couldn't ask for better assistant coaches, right? Coach Paul out there on the tennis courts with his assistants, right? So that's kind of cool to see too, right? Just see that, then building them up to then maybe take their place at some point. But yeah,
You see, we always talk about Cypress, the community, right? How it's such a family-oriented community, and it's like a small town, but the school's that way too. We have a lot of coaches who were students here, and even those who weren't, who come in, they're welcomed into the family really quickly, and they settle in, and I think that mutual respect and the way we kind of do things, it's done here with the coaches and building that relationship with their assistants and stuff, that pushes them to have the longevity, and then that eventually, hopefully, equates to some wins. And we've seen that. So move us along, Coach. We got the winter season. We got a new soccer coach.
That's right.
As well.
You talk about alumni and community. Anton Jameer
Yep.
came back as our boys soccer coach. Right, he's never coached high school sports. He's been in the club world. He's a 2003 graduate of Cypress. He's a CIF champion in track in 2 different events. And we were fortunate enough to get him to come back and be our head coach. They didn't make the playoffs this year, but I think they turned a corner, and we're looking forward to seeing them continue to progress. Girls soccer, Coach Nicole and Coach Chrissy, 2 more alumni. They got a tough battle now with Pacifica year in and year out because, of course, our number 1 fan, Mike Sutton over at Pacifica, watches every week. He's got it rolling over there at Pacifica, so our girls have had to step up and face that challenge. But Nicole and Chrissy obviously do a great job.
And again, being around, right? They've been the coaches now for
since 2008, I think it was.
I'm going to trust you on that.
Yeah,
I know it's
it's
been a
pretty
while.
close. It's pretty close, yeah.
They've been here and continue to do a great job every year, and they're so easy to work with. Like they show up every day. They work hard. They do everything you guys ask as athletic directors. I mean, they're just good people.
Yeah.
I think that's.
And then one of Mr. Pfeiffer's favorite events this year was when we got to recognize Okada athletes of character in the winter, right? Okada, Orange County Athletic Directors Association. They put on a few different events, and we got to select and choose a couple athletes.
Yeah, Maddie and Josiah and get invited out to this dinner. I know Josiah was playing Jonah Kim. He was playing Tustin that night, so he could show. And I know we were able to recognize him later in, this year as a scholar athlete of the year. But, Manny was there, her parents were there, proud. And it also, that community, when you're talking about the community, right? The parents are all involved. And when you look at these coaches, when you're going through these lists, I'm thinking, man, and think of the returning players. Like Anton's going to have he set the groundwork to continue turning that corner, but now drive it forward, right? With the groundwork he laid this year, so.
And the excitement of a new field will help them as well, build on it. The basketball team did really well getting to the quarterfinals. I know they had a couple, all-county players as well. Talk about those.
That's right, quarterfinals, and it's crazy to think Cypress boys basketball have never been past the quarterfinals. It still blows my mind because we've had some really good teams and some really good players. It's just difficult to do.
It's hard.
And man, we were so close this year to do it. That Marina game, who went on to win it all, definitely stings.
Right
but Michael Wright had a phenomenal year. He was co-league MVP with a stud from Crean Lutheran and second team All County. Ryan Gov, little skinny point guard, sophomore, but man, the kid can ball out.
Steve Fryer's favorite player.
Oh yeah, he definitely
He
definitely earned some fans around the county with people watching our team play because of the way he plays, and smart, sneaky, and just really, really skilled. And he was third team All County as a sophomore. And Joni Kim, who was our Scholar Athlete of the Year and Okada Athlete of Character, 3-time first team All-League. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about how they do the divisions and the playoffs, and it was a little different back in the day where they did it by the enrollment, and you could have modern day in your division, and you're not going to probably win it. Now it's pretty balanced, and every game is like that Marina game where anyone can win. So you go into the playoffs thinking, I have a legitimate chance to getting to the semis or the finals and maybe winning, or I have a legitimate chance of losing in the first round to somebody that maybe I think I shouldn't lose to because it's so balanced. But I think Coach Mitchell, Coach Rivera, they're moving in the right direction. Clearly, they're doing great. I think it's just a matter of time before the quarterfinals is beyond us and we're in the semis.
I think so too. Girls basketball had a rougher go in their game. That was a situation where the CIF rankings for the last 2 years didn't work in our favor.
Yeah.
We went up against a team that went to the state finals in the prior year.
Yeah.
And we had 2 tremendous years prior, and our girls get bumped up to Division I, and this team hung out in Division I, and that was a rough go. But we had Isabella Caceres had a phenomenal career at Cypress High. She was all league for 3 years. And then Sarah Shigekawa, who's been on the show a few times, she was recognized by us as our Scholar Athlete of the Year, girls basketball player, and then a phenomenal award.
Right.
She was recognized as the CIF Spirit of Sport winner for the winter season. And that is one. There's one female
all the southern
that wins that in 560 schools.
Yeah.
All the girls that play winter sports from 560 schools, one is recognized. And Sarah Shigekawa from Cypress was recognized. Yeah. And what's even impressive on that is that's our second one.
Yeah.
Just a couple of years ago, Julia Pete, who was a volleyball, soccer, track athlete who overcame injuries, she won it. So phenomenal athletes, student athletes, involved and capable, and to be recognized with that is pretty neat.
What a great kid too, so humble. Like she just walks around. She's one of those kids that you meet, like Julia Pugh you bring up, right? Or you meet like an Aiden Houston, or Jonah Kim. You meet these kids, and you're like, these are great kids, right? And they represent sports well.
Yeah, I mean they're putting out there everything the district wants, right? Yeah. They're the example that I think that should be celebrated every day with our district. And I think that's something that we're trying to do and pushing those things forward, but they embody all the things that make somebody a good person, right? And it's giant. I mean, it's just so big. So back to some wrestling stuff. So we did have Kie winning it all, but we also had in boys wrestling, some wrestlers do pretty doggone good.
Oh, phenomenally well. I think this was the first time that Lumber got to send 2 boys to the state meet. Vince Partington, phenomenal season. Jimmy Romero, who ended up being first team All-County. Both of those guys make the state meet. Came in second and third in CIF, but just kept advancing and advancing and advancing all the way to the state meet. Jimmy just committed to Menlo College to continue wrestling. That just happened a couple days ago,
Great.
so congratulations to Jimmy. Vince is a junior, so he's coming back. His parents extremely involved, right? Dad's an assistant coach, mom's manning the social media and just really promoting all the kids in wrestling. They're all in, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, we had him sign. We had Jonah saying that he had just signed for track at Chapman, and they weren't the only signees we had. And each winter, we celebrate them, but then we also celebrate the late signees at the senior awards. So 10-ish.
Yeah, we got to celebrate 10 at the winter signing date in February, which is always a great event, a fun event, and now a few more come in later.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's just great that they get to go play 4 more years of their sport and go to school. I mean, that's what a great experience. There's crazy statistics on if it's only 6%, 7% do that out of high school. So to have a dozen or more kids do it, pretty exceptional.
Sean, you were just talking about our scholar athletes. Sarah being the scholar athlete, Jonah being our scholar athletes of the year. Amazing kids, but not only amazing kids, great in the classroom, smart.
In the classroom, and that's what I love too is these scholar athletes. I think is alive and well here at Cypress High School. Again, it's just cool to see, and it comes from the community too. Like I think of the boosters. We just had a boosters meeting last night, right? So all the parents that are actively just engaged and just shoveling money at Cypress Athletics, right? $55,000 of scholarships the other night, right? Celebrating that. They pay, almost $50,000 in stipends to get other coaches here to enhance our team. So again, it's cool. I love the kids. They benefit, and I hope they recognize that it's on the shoulders of other people too. So.
Yeah.
Well, just continue with the kids. So not only would we have a dozen or more going on to play NCAA, but how about the number of student athletes in high school that aren't going to continue playing their sport, but are going to amazing colleges.
Yeah.
Right? Taylor Montileone, she's not going to play NCAA, but she's going to Colorado State. Right? We have some water polo players. Where are you going? Oh, UCLA.
Yeah.
Right? Gavin Singh in baseball. Going to UCLA. Some great accomplishments. Sarah Shigakawa has done playing, but she's going to UC Irvine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Aiden Houston.
Aiden Houston,
right?
right? Exactly. He's done for now. Going to UCLA as a student. So
it is true. Like the things you learn in athletics really translate to the classroom and other things. It brings kids to school every day. It gets them involved in something that attaches them to their school, and then it helps them do better. And you see it in English class all the time, I'm sure. If you have a kid who's stepping out of line, he's an athlete, I'm sure it's pretty quick that you can get him right back into line.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I think that's that discipline transcends. It's like when they're talking those soft skills, right? Showing up on time, communicating, open communication, being part of something bigger than yourself. Athletics, but also career, classrooms, right? Your interpersonal relationships, right? So I think that the soft skills that they have translated from their athletics into, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, to be honest. Maybe Braxton remembered his survey.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out something about that. But definitely there's a mindset with these athletes, right? Shiggy's a killer student, and look, right? Aiden's killer student, look, they're killer athletes too,
Yeah.
right? And they're going off, and they're gonna miss it. They're gonna miss it. They'll find a way to kind of slide back into athletics. I promise.
They'll definitely miss it. But again, hopefully they're, like you said, they're learning that it's on the shoulders of people that give and care, and that they need to carry that on when they move, right? And you talked about the Booster Club. Booster Club has always been instrumental in everything we've done. The parents volunteer their time. The Booster Board volunteers their time. They're working hard every Sunday, and not just every Sunday. They're working hard behind the scenes, doing other things throughout the time, and they're just such an integral part of the success of the programs, helping with uniforms, helping with tournaments, helping with coaches, just anything and everything. And coming up, right, we have the new field, which is, if you haven't seen the stuff on social media that's being posted, I mean, it's ahead, it's moving along. They got the emblem getting ready to be put in. They got Cypress in the end zone, and we're going to eventually put a scoreboard up. And that scoreboard's not going to be the standard one that the district's doing because the Booster Club has helped out.
That's right. They didn't hesitate either. They just jumped right in. Anything they can do to support. We're getting, in addition to the standard scoreboard, video board, we'll be able to project images and results and messages on there. So
in real time and specific to the athletes that are performing on the field, right? So. It'll be cool.
Yeah, and that construction is right on time, if not ahead of schedule, to where it looks like our football team's going to be out there able to practice when they come back for fall camp on the field. We're hopeful we'll be able to play our lower level games out there. So it's going to be it's going to look great. It's going to look great.
I don't think anyone's more excited than Iman.
Coach Iman has grinded away for 25 years out on that track in the dirt, and exactly, there's not one person more excited or more willing to jump through over hurdles, no pun intended this year, to maintain a consistent track program, knowing that this year was going to be interrupted, looking ahead to the excitement.
Begging for a little patch of grass to do his high jump, right? Where they're running on tarmac and can we just have a little grass this big? Right? But he's never complains. He's just ready and eager. It's like a kid at Christmas. He's like, I can't wait to open this gift, right?
Yeah. When that thing is finally done, it's going to be pretty amazing to have not just the sports out there. Right, we know that's going to happen, but band's going to be able to get out there. There's going to be PE going on out there at times. You're going to have other activities that can happen on that field that'll bring more people, in the community out to see what's going on at Cypress. And again, a lot of that is due to the Booster Club and the amount of donations that they give to the program. So, I mean, it's been a great year. A lot of good things. Anything spring? The volleyball, spring volleyball. How many years in a row for league championships?
Yeah, I think it's been 4 years in a row for boys volleyball. Trace Oswald mentioned already. League MVP 2 years in a row now. So really consistent volleyball program. In track and field, we had a freshman high jumper, Katrina Sokolowski, who made it to the CIF finals. Coach Iman describes it that she was just a heel away from making the Masters meet. The baseball team won the league for the 11th season in a row in dramatic fashion. Nick Montgomery and John Short, they got the honor of co-MVP. They lost in a heartbreaker as well in the playoffs. It's not easy in the playoffs.
Not in that division, for sure.
Softball continues to produce just one consistent season after the next. Right, in our league, they had to go up against Pacifica, who's back-to-back Division I champions, and those were our only losses in league. So Coach Thompson in his second year has put up 20 wins 2 times in a row. Pretty good. Badminton won the league. Girls swim won the league. We had several make it to CIF finals in swim.
Boys tennis did well, and of course, boys golf.
Boys golf, man. They lost just a couple close matches by just a few strokes. But a good overall season once again. 4 guys made it to CIF.
Well, we'll be moving Cypress out of the Empire League. It is kind of sad to see that. We'll be moving over to the Century League and everything, but football.
50 years in the Empire League. 50 years. Every year that we've been around, we've been in the Empire League. We're the only school that's been in the Empire League consecutively all 50 years.
And for that, we didn't even get an Empire name in the new leagues. I looked at the new leagues and all the names, and they got Freeway and they got that.
I thought they got an Empire.
I didn't see an Empire.
I thought they did. I think they're continuing on, but it won't be the same.
I hope so. Well, hey, thanks for a great year. You guys did an awesome job as well. Thanks to Mr. Delgado for putting this together each and every week. Thanks to our athletes. It is incredible to watch them. We're really lucky to see them on a day-to-day basis and watch them progress over their 4 years and all their successes. Thanks to the coaches for their hard work. A lot of work goes into what they do day in and day out. They don't get enough thank yous, but we appreciate your time, dedication for not very much money, and it really does mean a lot. And of course, thanks to the parents for your support of Cypress Athletics. And of course, we can't forget to say thanks to our sponsors, Subs and Grubs and Coach's Corner. They're here each and every week. Make sure you get out there and support them. Anything else?
No.
Would you rather?
Yeah. Would you
Wrap it up.
Wrap
it up?
Or do it
Keep
again?
going. Mr. Delgado's saying 2 minutes. We are going to wrap it up. So, hey, thanks for watching. We will be here hopefully next year, and we'll see you out on the fields at that time.